The stars stretched endlessly across the vast, unyielding void of space, their cold light casting faint, shimmering reflections on the Interstellar Union cruiser's observation deck. Commander Ralvor stood motionless, his tall, imposing figure framed by the viewport. His luminous, insectoid eyes were locked on the vibrant blue planet spinning silently below. A world that, to the untrained eye, seemed so serene, so harmless. Yet Ralver knew better. Earth was not just a planet. It was a crucible of chaos and potential, harboring a species that could one day decide the fate of the galaxy itself. Behind him, the bridge buzzed with a symphony of activity. Officers of every imaginable species, each contributing their unique skills, moved with precision and purpose. The steady hum of the ship's systems underscored the organized chaos, a rhythmic pulse that mirrored the beating hearts of its crew. Yet even amid the frenetic energy, there was an undercurrent of tension, an unspoken awareness that their mission was unlike any they had undertaken before. Whispers of apprehension had swept through the corridors, a shared unease that spoke volumes about the gravity of the task ahead. The sharp clack of boots against the polished floor snapped Ralver from his thoughts. He turned to see Lieutenant Tehran standing at attention, his crest angled sharply forward in deference. The young officer's emerald eyes shone with determination. "Commander, the jump coordinates are locked," Tehran reported, his voice tight with anticipation. "Awaiting your command to proceed to the human homeworld." Ralver's mandibles clicked softly, a sound that conveyed both thoughtfulness and restraint. For a moment, he remained silent, his gaze drifting back to the glowing orb of Earth. Finally, he spoke, his voice low but resonant. "Excellent, Lieutenant," he said, "but there has been a change of plans. We will not be confronting the humans as originally instructed." Tehran's crest quivered in shock, his disciplined demeanor momentarily slipping. "Sir," he blurted, then quickly corrected himself. But the Union Council's orders were explicit. We're to neutralize the human threat before they destabilize the galaxy. Their technological progression is accelerating at an alarming rate. Ralver's multifaceted eyes met Tehran's, their iridescent glow unreadable. "Walk with me, Lieutenant," he said, gesturing toward the corridor. "I will explain." The two officers moved through the gleaming hallways of the cruiser, their footsteps echoing softly. Around them, the crew, a kaleidoscope of alien forms, carried out their duties with unwavering focus. Tehran glanced at his commander, noting the measured weight in his stride, the tension in his posture. Whatever Ralvor intended to reveal, it was not something he shared lightly. The air seemed heavier, as though the ship itself was bracing for the revelations to come. "Tell me, Tehran," Ralvor began, his voice quieter now, almost introspective. "What do you know of humanity?" Tehran straightened, his training taking over. "They're a young race, sir," he replied. "Fractured and prone to conflict, yet remarkably inventive. In a few short centuries, they have harnessed nuclear power and begun exploring the cosmos." Ralvor nodded, his antennae tilting slightly in acknowledgement. "All true. But the Union Council has withheld certain truths about humanity, truths that have shaped our policies for generations." They entered the Arboretum, an oasis of verdant life nestled within the sterile confines of the ship. The air was warm and fragrant, alive with the sense of alien flora. The faint hum of artificial sunlight bathed the room in a golden glow, creating a stark contrast to the stark, metallic corridors they had left behind. Ralvor paused beside a tree with shimmering golden leaves, its bark intricately patterned like a tapestry. He traced a clawed appendage along its surface, his thoughts seemingly far away. "Humans," he said at last, "are unlike any species we have encountered. Their minds are labyrinths, their adaptability unmatched. They possess a relentless curiosity and ingenuity that outpace even the most industrious of our allies. And if provoked," his voice darkened, "they are capable of a unity and ferocity in war that is chilling." Tehran's brow furrowed. He struggled to reconcile this portrayal with the fragmented, chaotic image of humanity he had studied. Then all the more reason to act now, sir, before they surpass us. Ralvor's gaze sharpened, his multifaceted eyes flashing with intensity. No, Lieutenant, he said firmly. To strike at humanity would be our undoing. Our strategists have run countless simulations. In every scenario, humanity prevails. Not easily, but inevitably. They do not surrender. They do not yield. They fight until their last breath, their last ship, their last world. Such is their indomitable will. He plucked a radiant, golden fruit from a nearby tree, examining it as he continued. Even if we succeeded, the cost would be catastrophic. Worse, we would extinguish their boundless creativity and brilliance. Imagine the discoveries they might share if nurtured as allies rather than enemies. The potential is immeasurable. Ralvor turned to face Tehran fully, his voice weighted with conviction. Thus, we maintain a policy of non-interference, officially. Unofficially, we guide them, nudging their progress away from paths that might threaten the galaxy. We are their unseen guardians, their silent shepherds. This is our burden, Lieutenant. This is the great secret of the Union. Tehran stood straighter, the gravity of the revelation settling over him. The weight of responsibility was almost tangible, pressing against his chest. I understand now, Commander. Forgive my earlier doubts. Ralvor placed a hand on the young officer's shoulder, his touch firm yet reassuring. There is nothing to forgive. Understanding comes with time. You will see the wisdom in our path. Activating his communicator, Ralvor spoke with steady authority. Helm, set course for Veltron Prime. We have a summit to attend. As the cruiser plunged into hyperspace, Ralvor's gaze lingered on the shrinking image of Earth. Its radiant blue surface glimmered like a jewel against the darkness, a beacon of both promise and peril. Dream well, children of the stars, he murmured, and may your dreams remain pure, for all our sakes. The cruiser emerged from hyperspace above Veltron Prime, a sprawling jewel of a planet teeming with crystalline cities that sparkled like stars. The summit would bring together the Union's most influential leaders to discuss humanity's place in the galaxy. Ralvor couldn't shake the weight of his decision as he descended to the surface with Tehran at his side. The stakes had never been higher, and Earth's fate hung delicately in the balance. The chamber was a masterpiece of alien architecture, with vaulted ceilings that shimmered with iridescent lights and walls that seemed to pulse with a living glow. Delegates from dozens of species filled the room, their varied forms creating a tableau of galactic diversity. Some were massive, hulking creatures with hides like living stone. Others were delicate, ethereal beings whose translucent forms seemed barely tethered to the material world. The air was thick with tension, a palpable mix of curiosity and apprehension. Ralvor stepped forward, his presence commanding immediate attention. The murmurs that had filled the room fell silent as his deep, resonant voice echoed through the chamber. Esteemed delegates, he began, we stand at a crossroads. The decisions we make today will shape the future of our galaxy for generations to come. He outlined the Council's directive and the reasons behind his divergence from it, his words deliberate and measured. As he spoke, he could see the varying reactions among the delegates, some nodding in agreement, others narrowing their eyes in suspicion. He knew his argument had to be flawless, his reasoning unassailable. Humanity, he continued, is not a threat to be extinguished but a force to be guided. Their potential for innovation, their unparalleled resilience, these are qualities that could benefit us all if cultivated wisely. To destroy them would be to destroy a part of ourselves, a spark of the unknown that we should seek to understand, not fear. A towering figure rose from the back of the chamber, its crystalline form refracting the light into a cascade of colors. And if they turn against us, it asked, its voice a harmonious blend of tones. If their ambition consumes them and threatens the balance we have worked so hard to maintain. Ralvor met the delegate's gaze, his voice steady. That is why we must guide them, not confront them. By fostering cooperation and understanding, we can ensure that their growth aligns with the principles of unity and peace. The path of destruction is easy, but it leads only to loss. The path of collaboration is harder, but it offers hope. The chamber buzzed with renewed discussion as the delegates debated the merits of his proposal. Ralvor stood silently, his composure unshaken, knowing that the fate of an entire species, and perhaps the galaxy itself, rested on the outcome.